Oh goodness me, that was a bit of an unforeseen issue there, wasn't it? But we're back here now. We're on board KD. KD had an issue there. Siege also dropped down the order as well, unfortunately. And look at this, and his Kaida has made up 10 positions already in this one, trying to go on the outside of Kaz, but unfortunately that didn't come off. And KD had a spin, unfortunately, and unfortunately that has dropped him right down the order, which is such a shame there, as we're now back on. I think we're now back over this little bit. Indeed, then. Right then is, just going back to this battle here. KD has got past Kaidao. Kaidao has dropped back down into a 10th position. Yellow flag there as it is Scooby Stew has gone off on the outskirts of the circuit. Kaidao all over the back of KD. KD has dropped down the order. We've also got Gamer who leads this way now. And Immortal is off the circuit. And oh goodness me, the championship leader has had an issue. And my goodness me, he's had it all his own way this season. But all of a sudden, it is going Pete Tong for the championship leader. And he is dropping all the way down the order. Gamer has now moved himself up into the lead. He's got a 5-second gap over himself and Jinner at the moment. But goodness gracious me, it's working again. Thanks, Sean. Don't worry about that, my good sir. Yes, scream at me at least if it's frozen. Yellow flag as well for one of the McLarens. Is Kaidal off the circuit? What is going on here? It's all getting action-packed in this one there. But it is Immortal off the circuit. Kaidal is dropping down the order as well. Oh my golly gosh, sending them. That is that's absolute pandemonium here. And I'm wondering now, as look at this, as Percy's having a look then going on the outside into Tarzan here. And he is on the outside, he is on the hard tyre as well. Lovely stuff indeed. KD has got past. Look, Murphy's also up into 5th position. He passes and is now just a position behind his teammate Bannister. Scooby Stew is out of the race there, whilst his teammate Immortal comes into the pit lane. A bad day in the office so far for the AlphaTauri drivers. Serious Mushroom is also right down the order as well. With our technical gremlins going on here tonight, I have missed some of it whilst I was trying to turn it off and back on. On board with Reflections, and his Immortal's back out now. He's got a humongous deficit now, hasn't he? As they're coming up to complete the second sector, whilst Immortal's just come out of the pit lane. On board Reflections motor on those soft tyres. We've got 4 drivers who's on the soft tyres still, and here he is very close to the back of Kaz and KD. Aston Masters in 6th position there, but Dan Murphy has had an incredible start to this race. Flew right up the order, same with Purse as well. Jinner now down into 3rd position, and for both Alfa Romeos, about a nightmare season so far in the 100%. As all of a sudden, really, it's really started to shine on them ever so slightly, which is good stuff indeed. Out of front turn there, Kaz is going to have no defence for the soft shot McLaren Air Reflections, who's made his way from 20th on the grid up into 8th position. Good stuff indeed there for the McLaren Mercedes, flying through the field like a hot knife through butter. Iwaku was up in 10th position. He's still in 10th position there. Vessier dropped down to 11th position there. Goodness me, has he got to have a goal on the outside there? Liamia never try. Oh, Liamia sneaks on the inside. That's going to be contact there. And Liamia trying to, it's a Vessier, got spooked there. He thought Liamia was more alongside him. Well, he is alongside him now, and Liamia is through, passes Vessier, moves himself up into 11th position. On here. Scooby Stew forgot to change his tyre pressure, so he just kept on spinning. Oh, what a shame, Scooby Stew out of the Grand Prix because of that. Then I just got to play with it, really. If this circuit is difficult, the best of times when you got the optimal tyre pressure, but if you're going to be spinning like a Beyblade, I don't see the point of continuing. Immortal has moved himself up into 17th position there. He's got past Scooby Stew. No, he hasn't. He's got past Serious Special. Got Scooby Stew on the break now. Unfortunately, Scooby Stew out of the Grand Prix. Reflections now got his way up into. Oh my goodness me! And look at that. Jenner's back up into 2nd position. I was wondering if Percy's made a mistake there. And Gamer is just absolutely waltzing away. Doesn't it feel interesting, doesn't it? The Gamer who has really struggled in the Gold Championship and is doing absolute wonders in the 100% league, isn't he? I do feel that drivers are really more. In fact, they're so good. Some drivers are absolutely. Their speciality is 100%, isn't there? Where they know they've got double the amount of time to really make an impact in this race. And I think the Gamer is definitely one of them, doing a great job out there. Murphy, another one as well. I don't think he struggled too much in Silver, has he? But in my opinion, he was one of the drivers that probably I thought was going to be in the top 3 in the championship, and that hasn't materialised so far. Scooby Shoot, if there's a 2-lap race, it would be fine. Serious Mushroom has got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane, unfortunately. Yes, it's unfortunately, but unfortunately it's not a 2-lap race, it's a 72-lap race there for Super Shoot out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. But yes, I'm not going to throw that, but unfortunately I think we'll see how the head steward thinks about that. Percy all over the back over Gino. Here comes Kydal. Oh, magnificent, up the inside, takes 12th position past Vessier. I wonder if those soft tires, well no, because both drivers are on soft tires. Actually, I think at this moment in time, Kydal is the quicker of the two drivers. Kydal, who was quite high up in the order, unfortunately he's dropped down, didn't he, after that spin there. Same with Liam Yeh as well, but they are clawing their way back up the order. KD also had the issue as well, didn't he? Unfortunately, Liam Yeh now moved past Kaz. Kaz trying to go on the outside there, goodness me! And oh goodness me, and Kaz and Liam Yeh came to blows there. And I wondered if Liam Yeh, should he give him more space to the Ferrari driver, or should Kaz have backed up there? Well, goodness me, 2 into 1 to go. They just came together, didn't they? And now Williams of Vintage is off the circuit as well. It's pandemonium out there at the moment here in Zandvoort. Oh, goodness me, I love it. Well, yellow flags out there again. Aston Martin is dropping down the order, and he is down in 7th position now. So and KD has moved himself up to a very fine 6th position. Immortal all the way down in 70th position, but never discount out Immortal. He's been the cream of the crop in the 100% league so far. Reflection down to sniff on the outside at the moment, but no dice set. No dice at the moment. They're coming out of turn at 12 here. Look at this. I think that KD, as Brooksy and Vessier are having all kinds of scrapping going on here. Vessier does seem to be struggling at the moment. He's dropping down the order. He's now the meat in the Ferrari sandwich, or he's trying to be the meat in the Ferrari sandwich, but at the moment the Ferraris are the loaf of bread. On the outside of Vessier, that goodness me, is trying to defend as hard as possible. But here comes Brooksy, another driver who's I thought would be a bit higher up in bronze as well. But it's been a very, I think though that his form has been very much cast aside in the championships this year with this new version of Formula car, haven't they? Goodness me, some drivers have Liam Yeh out of the Grand Prix as well, unfortunately, and that is a big blow indeed there for the Alpine driver. Immortal has set the fast lap for the race, and Brooksy on the outside. Now the inside passes Vessier, moves his way up into 12th position for the Ferrari. Back on board with reflections now is Percy, who's now in third position, I should say that, but he's really gaining on Gino at the moment. I think that this short back straight probably ain't going to help him out too much. Look at Bannister in there. Bannister's doing a magnificent job out there. He's standing up in the seat of that Alfa Romeo at the moment. Really good stuff indeed. Immortal has now got his next target is right in front of him. Kydal has got past Ewok Jr., made his way up into 9th spot here. Really good stuff indeed, Dan, and away he goes. Is he now got the pace to get after the next car for Kydal, which is his teammate, of course. On the outside comes Percy, but Jenner is having none of it. Is he going to go for the switcheroo? Of course, that curve on the inside can't spin you off there. Of course, that's going to be contact. That is contact there, and that's a perfect spin if you ever wanted a spin. But he's now inside KD. Goodness gracious me, we haven't even passed the watershed yet. But he's all over the back now. Percy is a KD, but KD is not going to yield here. But Percy, unfortunately, and Jenner came to blows there. Again, do you think that Percy should have backed out there, or do you think that Jenner should have given Percy some more space? Did Percy entitle himself some more space? Of course, I'll leave that to you guys at home then, as of course I am not a steward, because if I was, there'd be no drivers left. I'll be worse than Michael Massey, or better, or maybe not as bad as Michael Massey. It depends on your point of view, of course. As Ewok Jr. now made his way up into 9th position and getting past Kydal. Lovely stuff indeed. Then Vessier all over the back of the Ferrari still. Vessier trying to use those soft tires to his advantage. Bannister all over the back of Ginner. Now Ginner is struggling because Gamer is now almost taken off, hasn't he? He is flying out there at the moment. Gamer is out, and look at this, and his Bannister's going this way and that way. Gamer, as well as Liam Yeh, of course, he had a birthday on Sunday, the same day birthday as Liam Yeh. And of course, Gamer didn't go very well for him in the race. I think he was out before, just after Raddy on there. And now Bannister on the inside. He's having a great racing car. 88. He is stolen Kubitza's number. He is driving like the prime version of Kubica back in 2008 and beyond there. Fantastic. Mortal setting up fast out the race house. He's just coming down the start-finish straight, whilst the man who's leading this race there is just coming onto the back straight. That is how much time Immortal's got to make up at the moment here in this one. And Jinner, who is Jinner is now dropping. He's lost a lot of time. Jinner. As I look at these gaggle cards here. We got Jinner, Murphy, KD, Percy, Acid Masters, Arm Reflections, and Ewok is about 5 seconds back. And we got a lot of queue of cars out there. And well, I must say that I feel that this is going to be a race-long battle. And of course, bring it on! I say, bring it on! We're on lap 14 of this one. This is the 100% League. If you just joined us, of course, I broke the stream earlier on. But luckily we are back going again. Good job that Don's good job that Kakarot Goku is taking notes there, because I certainly was watching the stream then, mainly because I was just making sure that my nephew actually didn't break my other PlayStation 4. Is Ewok Jr. now up into 10th position there? No, he isn't. He's down to 11th. Sorry, down to 10th. Actually, because Kaida's made his way up. He was challenging Jinner. Jinner's really struggling out there. He's got no pace at all. I see. Is there damage on the Alpine car? Well, he's all over. Yes. No, I thought he lost an end plate there. It doesn't look like it from the outside here, but Jinner is really struggling for pace. Bannister having a magnificent performance so far. So is Murphy, remember. There has been a lot of great drives on there. 2 retirements. Unfortunately, it's the 2 brothers of Liam and Scooby Stew, both out of this race then. And I think that they're going to be some very disappointing brothers in that household as well tonight. Yellow flag is one of the AlphaTauris there. It's just because of Montour who skated off the circle. There's only one AlphaTauri left in this Grand Prix. Look at the harvesting there for Jinner. Jinner's got no battery at all. And here comes Murphy, and can he get past it? And look at this Percy going this way and that way, but KD will not be deterred. And it is still as you were as we come out of the start-finish straight. Only there's not many overtaking opportunities around here, is there? And you've really got to trust the driver in front. And unfortunately, some drivers have had issues of coming across each other and spinning off so far. On board with Murphy at the moment there. Of course, he is driving a very controlled race as usual, isn't he? The former silver runner-up then, of course, back in season 2. With that incredible showdown between himself and Gurman, and in that very unusual rain-affected Abu Dhabi race, which will live with me forever. I think, and Percy had a spin there, as goodness gracious me, and I was like looking down at the time, and did he get on the power too early? Murphy's all over the back of Jinner here. Jinner is struggling. He's on the outside. He has track position. He's on the outside. Jinner cannot defend. He is falling down the order quite quickly now. And that queue of cars behind him is ready to knock him off his perch. So Jinner is struggling now. I'm sure he's got damage to the car. There's something wrong with that Alpine machine, and he is unable to defend. Well, he's going for it here, and he's going on the outside there. And now Murphy, what's he going to do? He gives him just about Murphy enough racing room there. Murphy is staying on that side. Remember what happened earlier on this race, and again he's through, but Murphy is staying on the outside, and at the outside to turn 3. And oh gosh, Murphy gives him the squeeze on the inside. He's going to hurt his acceleration there. Murphy takes the position. KD, and oh my goodness me, I get so excited when they go side by side through that very fast part of the circuit. Yeah, my word. A lot of harvesting here at the moment there, isn't there? Look in the background as well. That's Ewok, who was that's Acid Masters. Oh my goodness me! And Vintage from a day late in a dollar show, and he spun the car, and that was quite a way back there from Reflections there, wasn't it? Sorry, I got the name completely wrong there, didn't I? Shocking behaviour indeed. You'd think I'd know who these drivers are by now, considering the fact that I've commentated on about a lot of races this year. Not in the league, of course, but you would think that I know who's who in the ALR, but goodness me, it takes me years. Bannister 11.5 seconds in front of behind Gamer at the moment, but it's an all-out battle behind him, isn't it? It's the two Alpha males are now hoping to just stretch away from this incredible battle here. And good evening to you, Bro Gorilla. Of course, Bro Gorilla, a former commentator back in season 1 for ALR, and also, of course, a driver as well was the Bro Gorilla. So welcome to the stream, my good sir. Of course, unfortunately, we might have a two-parter tonight because I broke the stream after the second lap there, which is shameful behaviour. Immortal has moved his way up to the 12th position. I'm going to take stock of this race in just a jiffy, but however, I can't take too many stocks because this race is absolutely flying by. It's an incredible race so far. But the main talking points then is Immortal, the championship leader, has had a spin, had a spin now, and damaged his front wing, and because of that, he is down the order. With KD, who is unfortunately had a spin as well, but didn't damage his car and found on the order. Same with Kydal. Murphy has come from almost the back of the grid. It's up in the first. Flexion, who was from the back of the grid, is coming to the pits now, throwing on another set of soft tyres there and going for a very aggressive strategy at the moment. Just on the back of the Alpine driver is KD. Look, he's now DRS here. Now, Jinner may have a sinking being here because he's not going to have that DRS. That is, of course, the drag reduction system. The rear wing opened, but look at that, though. I think Jinner there has had a great run out of the top turn 14 now, and kept very much kept them all at arm's length. And so good stuff indeed there for Jinner. And he was actually quicker than Murphy down that back straight as well. But Murphy didn't have DRS, did he? From his team at Bannister, who's doing a superb drop. Bannister is my personal drive today, but goodness gracious me, we haven't even got to half distance in this one yet. We've only got to lap 20 yet in this one. And now Percy once again, who has got KD, who once again has got Percy in his wingmirrors. Of course, KD, who will be driving, hopefully be driving in gold on Sunday at this circuit. So he's hoping for some race experience in this one. Vintage just lost out to Vessi, who's got himself past, and I'm going to do 15th position there. Both these two, KD and Percy, driving for basically driving for opposite teams on Sunday. And Percy for the Aston Martin, whilst KD for the Red Bull. Of course, KD would love to get some points in the season. He should have got some points, I think, in the last race. I don't think, was he in Belgium? I think it was Hungary, wasn't he? He was really quick in Hungary. Oh, and Katie's gone to the back there. He kind of had a concertina effect there. Katie went to Jinner, Katie went to Jinner, and Percy went to KD there. And unfortunately, they've all just kind of backed up into each other as well then. So only the soft fronts come to the pits at the moment, and some unscheduled stops as well. Everyone else has stayed out. Immortal has made his way up into 11th position. Immortal has. He is not too far away from that battle now. He's only a pitch. He's only just over a pitch straight away now. Goodness me, this man cannot be stopped. We're only on lap 19. This man is flying. Goodness gracious me. Hard tires on for Brooks. He started on the soft tires, now going on to the hard. This is going to be a longer stint then for the Ferrari driver. Yeah, so keep an eye on where Immortal can go from here on in then. But he is on the medium tires. He still has a long way to go in this race. Gamer is driving absolutely splendidly out there. Look at that. The gap is now 12.7 seconds. Murphy is now less a second away from Bannister, with Jinner, who is really the mobile chicane in this race. But we're back on board with KD, and a yellow flag is Kydal is off the circuit. Then Kydal's had a few spins in this one, and he's dropped behind the second Mercedes of Ewok now, and down to 80 position. He's the longest driver to stay on the soft tires. I'm wondering if that is a sign for him to come into the pits, get on some new rubber, and and see if he can trigger an undercut here. Potentially, then I think that might be the best way forward for Kydal, but we'll see how that one goes because as McLaren and Kydal himself has certainly got an idea for a strategy game plan here then, as we back into turn 1 and tires in there, and the two Alfa Romeos are now Kydal has come to the pits there. Percy all over the back of KD once again. So Kydal into the pits there. We'll see what tires he throws on now. Immortal's up into 9th position. Magnificent stuff. Contact again, and now Acid Master is really going to be intrigued then. Ewok is about 7 seconds away from this battle. He's not gaining on them at the moment on this battle for the moment. Murphy is all over the gearbox of his teammate Bannister here. That just shows the pace in Murphy. Shamefully, still got that D4 helmet, which I shake my head in disgust. Kydal coming out of the pits right behind Brooksy. That is how close the undercut is. because I don't think Brooksy was very much in the mix in this battle here, but all of a sudden he can be. Goodness gracious me, but of course that also includes the spin as well. Talking to spins. Oh no, Immortal, who was flying through the through the field, and now he's dropped back down to 10th position, but he's still in front of that battle of reflections. Chewy, who is just not too far away. Bannister's had a great run out of the front. Goodness gracious me, look at that battle in the background there. And Murphy, I think, is not going to get that close, is he? We're going to stick to this battle here. Murphy there, just not close enough. And look at that on the outside. Incredible. And KD is through. Yes, he is through, is he? He's having a look at this. Is going to get very hairy together. KD is through. That's an important part in this race, I think, because now he has been released. And Percy does need to get through as well here. He is on the outside there. Jenner has sitting there, but goodness me, this is close, oh my word, and he is through, and up to 5th position there. That is an important part of this race, and I feel, because now because Jenner is struggling, is he? He hasn't got the pace at this stage of proceedings in that Alpine, and he's just dropping down the order ever so slightly. Jenner is. You can see, look at that oversteer on that car. That car is not very well balanced at all in that Alpine, is he? And I'm wondering if that's what happened to Liam Yeh as well. We heard about Scooby Stew's poorly balanced tyres, and now I'm wondering if it's happened to Liam Yeh and maybe Jenner as well in this one. So let's see then. Murphy, probably alarm bells is going to be ringing in the head of the Alfa Romeo driver now. He needs to get past his teammate Pronto here. Otherwise, KD and Percy, I think, are going to be quite closely, going to be up behind him quite closely. But look at that. Bannister is so quick down that back straight. Murphy is going to really have to use a lot of errors there to get himself just even alongside his teammate. Bannister is flying up the order. And reflections of the circuit. Bannister has jumped down into third. I wonder if he waved Murphy through there. And he's now up into 2nd position. Murphy has reflections of the circuit. What a shame there for reflection. He's third in the championship, but he's having a bit of a difficult couple of races there for the McLaren driver. Percy still be honest. Percy is just matching KD stride for stride in this one. Let's see what the pace is now. Gamer after 22 laps around here. We ain't at half distance yet, not by a long shot. We got another 13 laps before we can get to half distance. But at this moment there, at this moment, Gamer has got quite a margin over Murphy. Bannister in front position now, but look at how quickly that KD and Percy closing on Bannister. Acid Masters is now all over the back of Jenner, who's very much had a lot of issues at. Serious Mushroom back in the pits and down in 18th position. A miserable day at the moment for the Haas driver, Serious Mushroom. It's been a difficult week as well, unfortunately, for Serious Mushroom. With issues in bronze as well. Chewy in 11th position, his teammate. He's just a second away from those points. Auto recovered after that spin earlier on in this one. And that's setting that McLaren. The McLarens are struggling here now. Kaidal's off the circuit, 2nd and 3rd in the championship, and they're having an absolute nightmare out here at the moment. Brooksy, the highest runner, who's on the hard tyres, and Kaz has lost out on his. Chewy is now into the top 10. Good stuff indeed, then he is through. But Brooksy, the highest runner on the hard tyres, who's coming to the pits, he is going to be a major factor in this race, I feel. What about Immortal? Immortal has done 16 laps on these tyres, so he can go in 6 laps extra than the drivers in front, because of course the drivers have not come into the pits just yet. Equals, Murphy is flying. Can he score points then for Aston? Unfortunately not, because he's representing the Alfa Romeo team tonight. But the Aston Martin drivers of KD and Gamer is doing a magnificent job, and they could be scoring an almighty amount of points. But Murphy, great job indeed so far, with Bannister in 2nd position, Bannister in 3rd position, KD in 4th, and Percy in 5th. But these guys have had an almighty slog right from the get-go. And now we're going to start coming into what tyres everyone can go on. And I think that 2 and 3 stop pit stop prediction, I don't think it's going to come true here, because some drivers, I think, could go onto the hard tyres from here and go all the way to the end then. My question is, can Brooks go to the end on those hard tyres? I would think that they're going to be very much second hand by the end of this race, but it's a very bold manoeuvre there for the Ferrari driver. So the gap at the front there is 14.7 seconds from Murphy. Bannister has lost out to almost a second to his teammate with KD and Percy all over his gearbox now. Acid Masters in 6th position. Jenner dropping down to 7th, and we missed that overtake, but Jenner now down to 7th, and Ewok in a very lovely 8th position. But there, Immortal, who's had a very difficult opening start to this race. But remember, like he did in Hungary, he had a difficult start to the race, but he came back absolutely with vengeance in the second part. So we'll keep an eye if that happens again here for Immortal. Chewy in 10th position, 10 seconds away from Immortal, but can he get some more points on the board for the Haas team? Kaz is in 11th, but Brooksy flying up behind his teammate in 12th. Both McLaren second in the Constructors' Championship, an absolute mare so far in 13th and 14th position now. Vessier was in the heart of this battle, down in 15th position now. Vessier has not made much progress since coming into the pits. Vintage struggling in 16th position now. Siege in 17th on those hard tires. Of course, when I broke a stream, we didn't see what the Siege said. Same with Serious Mushroom down in 18th position. 2 retirements in this one, and they are, of course, Liam and Skippy Stew. Lap 25 for this race, and here comes KD. Then Bannister leaves just about opening into the pits there. Yellow flag for one of the Red Bulls. Into the pits comes Jenner. He's had enough of those medium tires. He is now initiating the undercut here. I know, I think that the undercut could be quite powerful indeed. He's gone soft, Jenner. Goodness gracious me. I thought he was going to go hard there, so that's completely through. Oh no! And Percy has gone into the back of Bannister, I think now. I know, I wonder if I caught Percy out. Bannister, who was having a great race, and unfortunately, they couldn't blows out. I don't think Bannister has got yellow flags for a Red Bull again there. It's Vessier then. Goodness me. From that angle, it did look like he did get a bit of a push from Percy, didn't he? Unfortunately, Bannister did. We'll see if he's got damage reflections in 12th position. And we're looking for Jinner. He is on the soft tires. He's got a beautiful bit of track as well in front of him now. What's happened to Vessier? Vessier has not damaged the car, but he is struggling, isn't he? Murphy, who is now leading this training car, he's got the gap down by a second since the last time we checked in here. A gamer does not need to react. He has got, because he's got such a mammoth lead at the moment, he doesn't need to react at all, does he? On board with KD then, and now no one is in DRS out of this battle here, so I think that we might have a bit of a lull in proceedings for now. Aston Martin's great driver in the 5th position as well. Of course, I think he won the race in the season, didn't he? In Abu Dhabi. Bannister into the pits, and he's crawling into the pits as well. Bannister said he was on a great race, but that incident there has really knocked him down a couple of positions. He's in the pits now in Alfa Romeo. That they are not changed the wing, so that's fine. But soft tires for Bannister as well. Then so they are going a complete different direction than what I thought they were going in. Maybe the hard tires is not a very good race tire out here today, so that is why they might be going to soft tires. Percy's off the circuit, and goodness me, we've got an Aston Martin who is touring now. I think it was a Red Bull. I should just get out of the way of the Aston Martin. Percy, who's dropped down behind Aston Martin, and it's a long race there, but Percy, who will still be on these hard tires for another couple of laps or so. Bannister has just been overtaken by Reflection. He's got speed a bit quicker than he has over. Of course, he's been out on those soft tires a bit longer than his rival. And then Brooksy is not finished now. He is going to become a major factor in this one, as Vessier, who is now, unfortunately, he's out of the race. Unfortunately, Vessier is, we got 3 retirements in this one. Then Bannister in a 12th position. Well, there is any of the leaders coming to pits then. So once again, then none of the leaders coming. Top 4 have not come in then. But Percy's in the pits there. So Percy on the hard tires is coming into the pit lane now. And my goodness me, I was expecting to stay up there. Is it change? It's not a change of tire. It's not a change of wing. Then it's just a change of tires to Ferrari mechanics and prep for someone. I wonder if that's what Kaz said. Oh no, I think the Kaz just been in the pits there. Jinner is the fast on the race there, and Percy coming out of the pits now, but he's behind Jinner then, as Jinner's been very much a thorn in the side of some of these drivers tonight there. Of course, but he's not going to wave him through. As he look at Brooksy, he's now playing himself right into this battle here. What about Bannister? He needs to get past the Reflections. He hasn't done so far though. Gap down to 13.1 seconds. Now Murphy is really, oh no, and he walks off the circuit there, and that's at the very fast part, turn 7 I think it is, and he looks as he damaged the wing. It doesn't look like he's damaged much then, but these wings are so incredibly designed there, and because they're so incredibly designed, it's very difficult sometimes with the naked eye to see if there is any damage on that front wing. We've got AC Immortal, who's now been in 5th position and 12 seconds behind. Percy's off again. Then pit stop for Murphy, and Percy is off again, and that is the whole wing gone, and now is a fresh set of medium tires, and so Percy is having a nightmare stint in this race, and that is almost certainly taking him out of the chance of maybe a Grand Prix win. Whereas Murphy, then he is on medium tires again, so it's definitely a 2-stop for Murphy. So yes, I wonder if the hard tire is not the way to go around here. Not by the looks, and the drivers are really not favouring that at all. He's out in front of Jinner as well, and that could be crucial here. Jinner is on the softer tyre. He's not going to be easy to overtake that. Ewok, who had an issue on that last lap there, unfortunately, who's Let's drop down the order. My goodness gracious me, that we've had an action packed couple of laps here, isn't it? Aston Martin's now both lead, both done 27 laps on the medium tyres, and Percy back into the pits and having a nightmare race at the moment. Percy is dropping right down the order. Red Bull Mechanics back out, and it is going to be, I think he's, I'm not sure, has he only got one set of same hard tyres? If he has, and those hard tyres have done 26 laps of this race already, so that is a nightmare scenario here for Percy. Hopefully he's gone. He has gone now. Yellow flag then, and Jenner is out of the race, and he's gone right off then, and that's where Percy dropped in the last lap. Jenner's pushing too hard, and it's a safety car here. It's a safety car, and this may help some drivers who've had a nightmare race get himself back. Both Aston Martins have gone through the pit lane, and this is golden for Immortal here, isn't it? Because goodness me, he can almost have a free pit stop, and he's taken it then, the championship leader. And goodness me, fortune very much shines down on this man, doesn't he? He's into the pits now, and there's the AlphaTauri Mechanics coming out and ready to go down. I think anyone who hasn't pitted is sure going to take this opportunity. Ewok is in the pits as well, and there he is. This has brought Immortal back into this one beautifully, but Brooksy out of the race as well. What's up to Brooksy? Brooksy, oh goodness me, the Ferrari is completely, absolutely spread out against the barrier in the final turn now, and that is a big blow. He's only done 9 laps on those tyres, but the Ferrari out of the race as well. Goodness gracious me, this has gone absolutely nuclear here in Zandvoort. Bannister into the pits as well, so Ewok on the hard tyres, Kai down on the hard tyres. Bannister changing the nose cone, he is now going onto the hard tyres as well. Reflections and McLaren are also going to be loving this because they're back into this one as well now after a difficult start. Siege then, he's also into the pits then. 5-second penalty for Kaz, he's going to be kicking himself with that in the Ferrari. Here he comes, and Siege then, we didn't see what happened to Siege then. I'm wondering, where is Serious Mushroom? Is Serious Mushroom going to be able to unlap himself? Gamer's into the pits. I don't think he is, unfortunately. Here's Gamer. Lovely shot. Look at that. That's a fantastic shot. I love it. And he comes out the pits now. KD coming in the pits, and Aston Martin in the pits as well. I think the KD and Aston Martin might come out in front of Murphy, you know. Alpine Mechanics are also out as well, but this is a perfect time for the safety car. It's a one-stop strategy. This may have taken out some of the strategy intrigue in this race. Aston Martin also as well. Murphy has to adhere to the safety car Delta, and he is going to be in 4th position, so Murphy has been robbed quite heavily here. KD is going to be loving this, isn't he? But I don't think Gamer is there, because Gamer, who had quite a handsome lead of about 13 seconds, that is completely been whittled away here with a safety car. And just seeing about who is a lap down. I think that after that it is Vintage, who should be able to overtake that safety car. I'm hoping so, because he is in front of actually in front of the Aston Martin, so he should be able to overtake that safety car because he is a lap down. Let's see then if that safety car lets him through. The safety car should be changing lights on the top of the roof now to let Vintage goes by. I don't think Serious Mushroom will, because he is actually behind the Aston Martin. So Serious Mushroom unfortunately will not be able to unlap himself. No, it's not. And now I think Vintage is allowed to go through that, so that's golden news for Vintage. Unfortunately for Serious Mushroom, he will not be able to unlap himself. So really different. The problem with league racing is we ain't allowed to unlap, but the cars aren't allowed to unlap themselves, and it really does cause issues, doesn't it? Which is such a shame, because Serious Mushroom could have had a second chance here of potentially getting himself back into this race. So everyone has now been in the pits at least once in this race. So Gamer and KD, we're expected to go to the end now on those hard tyres. Aston Masters is on the medium tyres, Murphy on the medium as well, as is Immortal. We expect all those three to come back in the pits. Ewok should be able to get to the end, as should Kaidal as well. Chewie, Magnificent 8th position, Mono Reflections in 9th position. 10th position is Bannister. 11th is Lucas Percy. This is an opportunity for Percy to get himself back in this race after having a very difficult couple of laps. Siege in 12th position, also had an issue on the opening couple of laps here, is now back up in the 12th pit with Kaz in 13th, and 14th position is Vintage. Serious Mushroom in 15th, but he is a lap down unfortunately. retirements is Brooksy. He spun out of the final turn 14. Also out of this race is Jenner as well. Jenner is, of course, the safety car. Vestier out of the race, Liam Yet out of the race, and same with Skippy Stew, all out of this race so far. Only 15 cars remain out of the 20 that started then. Lap 31 out of 70, out of 72, and then we're coming up to half distance in this race now. It is Gamer who has taken control of this race then, almost from the get-go here, and he's had a very handsome lead then, up into 13 seconds. The highest it was 15 seconds for Gamer. But now he's going very much be under the caution from his teammate, from Aston Martin's Murphy and Immortal. Remember that Immortal, Murphy and Aston Martin are all on medium tyres now, and they're going to have a quicker tyre compound compared to the two Aston Martin drivers. So the safety car is still out getting at this. Of course, we are waiting for a couple of drivers then to just catch up. Then I'm wondering if these drivers could. I think that the hard riders are going to be happy with that tyres. I wonder if Kaz may come to the pits and throw on a set of hard tyres to see if he gets to the end as well. I wonder if Vintage may do the same. And Siege is staying out with. Let's see what Kaz and Vintage does. That is that they are just catch up to the back of the crocodile here. I think one more lap then before we get back and racing once again then. But Kaz is staying out. Vintage is staying out as well. No, Kaz is staying out. I don't know if Vintage is staying out. Goodness me. Unless I can read his mind, which is goodness gracious me, then maybe I should be mistaken. Just now on board with his Bannister is off the circuit, and he has damaged the car, Bannister has, and he was on a great race there, but again, but it's just going wrong for Bannister. And once again, we're seeing at the we're seeing that under the safety car at the halfway stage of a race that some drivers just have a real bad luck in the second half of this race. Damage to the Alfa Romeo as well, and that is a major blow indeed. Vintage didn't come into the pit then, so I kind of was right then. KD just reminding Sirius Basham not to impede the drivers behind him then, because KD, remember that there's a lot of fallout from the Hungarian Grand Prix about blue flags there. Remember the drivers are ghosted, but of course they're still very distracted indeed, isn't there? Bannister, I think this is heartbreak for Bannister. He's going to have to come to the pits, isn't he? And he's only got one set of hard tyres, so he's going to go to the medium then, which is going to force him into another stop, I'm sure of it. And that's the medium, so I don't think we'll get to the end from there. But yes, it's a lot of hoo-ha out of the Hungarian Grand Prix about the blue flags, of course, there. And Cirrus Mushroom, unfortunately unable to unlap himself so he's Cirrus Mushroom, who is very much in the heart of the Aston Martin and the Aston Martin pair there. But KD wants to win this race, doesn't he? He's not going to want, especially he'll love his teammate to win him, but KD, of course, is a racer first and foremost, and he wants to win this race for himself as well. The Kaz, and now we're back racing, and Cirrus Mushroom doing a very good job there. But look, KD is going to be under the caution already from the get-go, and Dan Murphy is also defending from Immortal as well here. But goodness gracious me, KD is under the caution here, and it is, of course, no DRS yet. With no DRS, and oh no! And KD's got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So I'm not sure if that's happened. Unless you took it before the start-finish line potentially then. But let's see how that one transpires. But that is a major blow for KD. And if he needs to come to the pits again, he will have to serve that penalty. And Percy is up into 8th position now. And that's not Percy. That's Percy in the Red Bull. And Kaidal just in front of us here. My goodness gracious me. And goodness me, there's drivers all over the circuit. And then all over the back of Murphy, who's in turn all over the back of Aston Martin. And looking at McLaren in the background of Kaidal and Percy going side by side down the back straight, which is not really a back straight, isn't there? And Percy up the inside forces the issue and passes the McLaren driver. Chewy is also losing positions here as well. He's been hung out to dry there, and Reflections and Siege both up a position there. Chewy dropping down outside the points, unfortunately, out of the final turn there. And Percy is now up into, he's a man reinvigorated here, is he? And he passes and moves up into 6th position there. And Vessier leaves the session. Unfortunately, he was on the race a few laps ago. Murphy still in front of Immortal at the moment, but Immortal's dropped off ever so slightly here as this battle is getting very heated here. Aston Martin would like to get past the KD here. Gamer is very much flying out there in the Aston Martin. He's doing a great job now. But KD, of course, unfortunately, getting a 5-second penalty for that yellow flag infringement kind of ignoring yellow flags there, and I think it might be because he must have overtaken Serious Musher before the start-finish line potentially. Well, it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens, what comes out of that. But if KD has to come to the pits again, he will have to serve that 5-second penalty. It is brutally harsh there, and especially if that wasn't what's transpired there. Gamer's got it out for a second. They did it very much his best. Sebastian Vettel-esque compression there. Remember when Vettel was at the height of his powers in the Red Bull between 2010 and 13. His specialist attribute was getting on that DRS. Usually within the first 3 laps there, so he didn't have to defend that. However, KD has seen what his teammates trying to do, and now the DRS has been able to end this lap. Then KD's trying to stay into that DRS, and that's important for KD, so he can be pulled along by his teammate then, and he will need that DRS because the medium shot tyres behind him are now queuing up then to have a go at KD then. But there is only one overtaking opportunity, well, one safe overtaking opportunity. Well, so there's never a very safe overtaking opportunity, is there? But I would say down into turn 1 in Tarzan is probably the most safest part of the circuit, so overtake on the moment. 35 out of 72 here. Just on board with Murphy then. Mortal back in the 5th position there. Of course, Mortal was having an absolutely difficult race then, but he has got himself back into this one. As of course, he had a couple of spins as well, but now he's on medium tyres. Of course, the question is where they go to the end then. I'm not too sure. I'm sure Mortal needs to use both sets of compounds of tyre here. I think anyway. Maybe I should rewind the stream back and up that. However, I'm not going to do that because I'm too lazy. Just watching Kaidal at the moment. He is all over the back of Ewok, who's about 2 seconds away from Percy, who was trying to pursue a minute ago. However, Percy is very much flying at the moment. Well, he was flying, but he's a second behind the medium shot group here. KD then. Look at this. The 2 Aston Martins have not pulled away halfway. And look at Percy there, announced himself onto the stage as well, as he has just set the fast on race. Kaidal up into 7th position, like a Multor. I think Kaidal Reflection also having that safety car, because that's also brought him right back into the thick of things. Siege, who is now in 10th position, another driver will be happy with that safety car. A lot of drivers won't be happy with that safety car. Maybe Gamer, potentially. Murphy also the same as right. He lost a bit of track time, didn't he? Because of that safety car. Ewok, who's in 8th position at the moment. He has just got passed by Kaidal. Here's Murphy at the moment, and he would love to get past Aston Masters. Aston Masters dropped off the back of the Aston Martin in front of him ever so slightly. Of course, that Aston Martin's got a cloud underneath him now, hasn't he? That 5-second penalty. Murphy, who is just fallen away ever so slightly then. We got some blue flags out there for some reason. I'm not sure why. I think it's out for I might be for Serious Mushroom, who's actually flying out there at the moment. He's back up. He did drop all the way down, but now we've got a queue behind it. So we've got a queue behind Serious Mushroom. There they are. As we got Kaz getting past Siege. Siege is struggling at the moment for pace out there at the moment. Murphy not close enough, I don't think, going down. This is the longest straight on. Oh, and talking about well, I thought that Mortal was going to be up there. Not quite. And look, Reflection's getting past the Mercedes and moving himself up into 8th position. Now Reflection's third in the championship. Look at this, and KD is not pulling away like he was earlier on this race. We've got 2 groups of drivers. Mortal, goodness me, swapping into almost there, coming out of turn 3. We've got 2 groups here. We've got Gamer, KD, Aston Masters, Murphy, and Mortal, and Percy has now joined the fray as well. Then the second gaggle of cars, which is Kaidal, Reflections, Ewok, Kaz, and Siege. Goodness gracious me, so we've got 2 groups of 5-ish, well, 1 group of 6, 1 group of 5 here. I love it. Absolutely good stuff indeed then in this one. You heard that beep then, that was the beep for the DRS then. We're in the second half of the race now then. Of course, I usually say this is unknown territory for the drivers, but it isn't for the drivers now. They've all been driving long enough now in the 100% league, but this is unknown territory for me, as I'm in overtime now. Normally I'm getting ready to just talk to the drivers before I go to sleep then. And take my hibernation. Okay, look at this. No one is pulling away in this gaggle of cars. Mortal is going going for it. He's at the inside. Oh, and Murphy's going to be forced wide here. But he's going to have the traction out of turn one. And Murphy is not giving this one up, is he? Immortal's on the inside, but Murphy swoops back. Great defensive effort for Murphy. And now Percy up the inside. Not quite, though. Percy's quick on those hard tires, isn't he? And that is really going to catch the attention of these 5 drivers up front. And I think that's caught the driver Immortal, caught the attention of Immortal, because he's really become very interesting getting past Murphy ASAP here. But attacking Murphy has really cost Murphy time, hasn't it? Because he's now starting to redefend the position. He has almost lost the DRS set from Acid Master in front. And look, Percy is very much going this way and that way, isn't he? He is very, very intrigued. Percy is out, but Immortal's also intrigued on Murphy as well. Goodness me, and I think that Immortal needs to get past Murphy at this stage of the race, doesn't he? Otherwise, this could he could allow Percy to get past here, and that'd be another car that he doesn't want to be involved in. So that is why I think Percy has really had to get very aggressive out of the front turn and down the back, down the start-finish straight. But Immortal once again trying to get past it, but once again it's not long enough. This start-finish straight, is it? It's about concentration in this one, and my goodness me. And this is going to be a long, hard slog for the final part of this race here. It's not the final part, it's the second part. Which technically is the final part, isn't it? So I'm half, right? Oh, Immortal had a bit of a squirrel there, didn't he, coming out of turn 3? Lovely shot here then. Well, not anymore, because all we can see is grass. But Kaz up in the 10th position as well. Blue flag still flying out at the moment. Watching Immortal in 5th position then. So as you can see, so we got the 2 Aston Martins still leading this race, and Acid Masters, there he is. Then we got Murphy, Immortal and Percy. Kai Dalla is dropping back. He is not gaining it. Still 3.5 seconds. But so he has not really made too much headway into this battling. What's the word for six? Is it a sixplex or something? I don't know. Sixplex, something like, I don't know. Well, 6 drivers, that would do. 6 drivers then fighting for tooth and nail for the Grand Prix win here. Dan Murphy is in DRS. It's Acid Masters who's not in DRS. And that is going to very much intrigue these drivers now as they come across the line. And but Murphy just not in strength for straight line speed. Murphy, as we sit in this against his teammate Bannister as well. And yeah, unfortunately Bannister down in 40th position. How quickly these F1 races change then. And it's such a shame of Barcelona. This is Murphy. He's got so much more confidence in that turn 3, hasn't he? Acid Masters is back in is really pushing on to keep inside that DRS, because that could be crucial in him keeping this third position in the race. So the 2 Aston Martins, I'm wondering if there's going to be any team orders in the Aston Martin camp with Gamer and KD. KD does have a 5-second penalty. Maybe too early to do the switcheroo and see if KD can pull away, but KD is not all over the back of Gamer. However, later on they could do the switcheroo to allow KD to try and sprint away and get sprint away and see if they can get that 5-second penalty deficit. And Murphy, oh for goodness gracious me, it's incredible how they just keep breaking time after time. It's a game of inches, this one is, isn't it, in Formula 1, and it is incredible how these drivers know exactly where to brake for 40, 50, 60, 70 times a race, and it's magnificent, isn't it? Kaz dropped out, Siege has got past the Kaz. This is Murphy's opportunity, but he's out of, look at that, he's out of deployment now, Murphy is, and that is really costing him. Murphy is struggling for straight line speed, isn't he? I feel then, and because he's out of deployment, and look at this, Immortal's all over the back of him now then, as he is getting very animated under the steering wheel there for Immortal is, and look at Percy, he is on the outside, he has engineered that move magnificently, but they're side by side here, so is anyone going to give it to him? Immortal has to give way, because Percy had the inside, he had track position, and now he's in 5th position, and the goodness me, that was Immortal, wasn't he, going wide, ever so slightly wide, losing momentum into turn 3, and that Percy there, very much striking it whilst the iron was hot then, and now up into 5th position. He is flying on these hard tyres at the moment, isn't he? My goodness me, I think the Aston Martin drivers are going to be very concerned by this Red Bull's pace at the moment. There they are, just in front. The gap is a second and a half, and now that, look at this, then, oh, and Percy's almost lost that again, very aggressive on the exit of turn 12, my word. My goodness gracious me, out of the final turn once again then. Here comes Dan Murphy. Again, he is just, he's out of deployment again. And I think that also into the pits comes Immortal. So only 12 laps on these medium tires here. Is this a strategical call? Alpine are almost out in the pit lane as well, but I don't know who for. And now he's going on to the hard tires. Immortal is now back onto the 6-lap old hard tires to the end of this race now. So Immortal might be going for a very early undercut here and seeing if he, because he doesn't want to be involved in that battle. You can see that battle was going to be he's already lost several laps in that battle then, so now he's got some clear track. Immortal has a time for some qualifying laps there for the championship leader, and away he goes. And he's out into perfect clear track as well. That is exactly how Immortal wanted to play it. Magnificent. Vince is all over the back of him at the moment, but I think when Immortal finds his tyre temperature, he will then start to get into a rhythm. That gap is now 2 seconds. A yellow flag as it's a Ferrari. It's Kaz off the circuit, where Jenner retired from this race earlier on then, and Kaz just trying to recover back to the circuit then. And look at that, the gap's now 2 seconds. KD is really putting the pressure on his teammate Acid Masters down, and once again Murphy is struggling, isn't it? And I think that this might be an opportunity now for Percy to have a look. He's on the inside. Murphy gives it just about a car's win, but he would have so much more momentum there. Goodness me, and Percy had to get out of there, otherwise he would have been tipped into a spin. Murphy, but I think that Murphy does need to do some harvesting, doesn't he, if he wants to get past them. But he is very much at the limit there. You can see that on the steering wheel, you can see how low the ERS is there. Let's get the telemetry up now. Look at that, less than just about 5% here. Into the pits comes the Ferrari cars. And I think that now Kaz probably, what tyres going to go on? I would say the hard tyres in the race. Can he get the mediums in the race from here on in? He is on the hard tyres, so hopefully Kaz, if he can stay out of trouble. Oh my goodness me, Murphy's on the inside, and can he do it then? And goodness me, then Acid Masters went ever so slightly right, then this straight is not long enough. Murphy's having another look then, but unfortunately no dice as we come down into turn 11 and 12 position then. Percy's all over the back of him, man, and goodness gracious me, they almost made contact there. Percy is desperate to get by. I think that Percy should be going to the end on those hard tyres. However, he knows that Immortal will be on fresher set of hard tyres at the end of this race, so he knows he needs to make hay whilst the sun is shining. What about the Aston Martins as well? Oh my goodness me, and Murphy backing out of that, and Percy up into 4th position there. And look at the deployment. These guys are trying their best to get past. They're really using their ERS quite heavily there. Murphy almost into the back of the Red Bull driver. Immortal set the fast line. That's alarm bells ringing down for these top 5 drivers here. Kai Dallas now less than 2 seconds away. There's the 2 McLarens in the background. They're loving this battle here because they're really starting to climb into the back of this battle here. Can Percy get past at 2.5 seconds gap between the 2 Aston Martin drivers who are starting to pull away? Percy, of course, that safety car has really helped to get himself back into this race, but of course he needs to make sure that he needs to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. He doesn't want to trip over these Acid Masters or Dan Murphy, but of course, so he needs to take it. He can't take his time too much, but he needs to take care as well. It's a very difficult balancing act at this stage, isn't it? But it's a crucial stage of this race as well. Immortal's now 4/10 of a second away from Chewy to get himself back into the top 10. My word there, and Percy just to sprint out for a lead there. And once again, look at that, he's out of deployment there. The 2 McLarens are also the find away as well. Can Percy, oh look, he's on the inside, and he goes for it, takes 3rd position, passes the Mercedes driver, and away he goes. That was an important manoeuvre. Look how much deployment Aston Masters have got there. Even without the ERS, even without ERS, I should say, he has done a great job of harvesting, as the Aston Masters has there, and that is why Murphy's having troubles getting past. Look at the McLarens, they're less than a second and a half behind this squabbling trio now, aren't they? McLaren are also getting themselves into this race well after a nightmare start to this race. Is all of a sudden coming back out, and that's the beauty about this 100% league, isn't there? Is about the long game, isn't it, rather than the short game. Murphy, who was looking very solid, wasn't he, until that safety car came out. He's down in 4th position now, and he's dropped back slightly, so he's going to be doing a bit of harvesting now. And you can see that he's starting to build up a bit of percentage in that battery. He needs a bit of percentage. And look at the background now. It's two McLarens. Murphy needs to get through quite pronto here. Now the gap was 2.5 seconds. Percy's already found 4/10 second on this lap alone. Aston Martin, what are they going to do then? They got 1-2 at the moment, and Percy's also set a fast off the race out to underline his speed and potential in this Grand Prix. Murphy didn't get past on that time around then, but as Aston Martin, I think Aston Martin did a great job on the deployment in harvesting. Fantastic stuff. Did the McLarens? Look, there they are. The Papaya McLarens have also set a fast off the race now as well. As we might have a few very quick qualifying laps in between Hamilton and Percy here at this stage of the Grand Prix. Oh, magnificent stuff indeed. Then coming up the crest of the hill once again. McLaren are almost a bit DRS than Murphy. On board of Murphy didn't have much airtime on Silver, did he? But he's had a lot of airtime here tonight. Goodness gracious me, Murphy and co. Goodness me, we can have a band of Murphy and his buddies. I don't know, Murphy and his buddies. I'm not sure. But whatever the case may be, it's been Murphy at the heart of these battles, hasn't he? Incredible. Along with Aston Martin's Percy, this has been an incredible race to say the least, hasn't it? Bannister is involved as well at some stage. We also had Jinner in there as well. It's been incredible racing. It's been incredible racing. I've enjoyed this so far. Magnificent stuff indeed. And these laps are starting to really fly by in there. As I look at them, we've got lap 47 out of 72 in this one. Gamer still leads, and he has led for 99.9% of the race so far. KD in second position, but it's Percy who is now on the prowl in third position. Aston Martin that is becoming a major thorn in the side for Murphy and his progression in this race now with Kydal and Reflections in fifth and sixth position. Once again with Reflections, and he is currently just also tagging onto the back of this battle here. Then goodness me, Siege is about 5.5 seconds down the road at the moment. Then so Siege could become a player in this one as well, but I'm not sure. Murphy and Aston Martin, I think they're going to have to come back in the pitch. You know, those medium tires are going to be screaming towards the end of this one. I feel then that this is really painful unless Murphy and Aston Martin are trying to go to the end. I wonder if they might think about going to the pits fairly early on. But Murphy, this is best opportunity then. But once again then, and look at this then, he is almost out of deployment here. He's going to have to go for it. He's having a look at the turn one, and again, he has just not got enough deployment, has he, to get past Aston Martin. And this is becoming painful now for Murphy, isn't it? Because look at Percy, is almost 3 seconds up the road, and now on the gearboxes of the two Aston Martins in DRS of the in the DRS detection zone of the Aston Martin. Percy is there. Oh my goodness gracious me, and Reflections just dropping out of that DRS detection zone. There is the two McLarens in the background, there they are. And I think that Kydal is now going to be another thorn in the side of this incredible battle between these two that have really been tied together for a majority of this race here. My goodness gracious me, I think that Murphy's going to be able to is definitely going to be able to draw that gearbox of the rear crash structure of that Mercedes at the end of this one. I don't believe he's an artist. Look at this, and I think that we've got to take a look at this as well. There are the top three, two Aston Martins, Percy in the Red Bull as well. My goodness me, remember Aston Martin were looking very good in Hungary, weren't they? Hopefully they'll make that same mistake again, but the two teammates, and what are they going to do here? Are they going to be able to defend from Percy's been absolutely flying. Again, Murphy's just not quick enough, is he? Aston Martin's drawing. I think that we need to give a shout out to Aston Martin. He's drawing a superb race here tonight, isn't he? No mistakes and not faltering at all here. Trying to go on the outside now, and really, I think that Murphy knows that this is a crucial part of the race here, and they're really springing out to turn 3. But of course, if you go side by side through there, you could have an airplane crash through these very fast kinks of the first intermediate split time. And Immortal now in 10th position, he is gaining every lap on these battling Quartet now that we've got. Siege is now under 5 seconds behind these drivers as well. Look at this. This is the battle for the lead of the race, and Gamer, KD and Percy on the lap 49 and 72. Then we have still got, oh gosh, we've still got about 23 laps to go in this race, and this one's far from done, ladies and gentlemen, far from done. Oh my golly gosh then. And this one is teeing up to be an absolutely spectacular end then to a spectacular Grand Prix. And out of the barn turn and get on, as I mentioned then, about us Martins maybe able to play games and potentially help each other out there. But with Percy in such fine form at the moment, that's going to be very difficult. Murphy, DRS again, then, but once again, just too far back. The out for a male, it's just not quick enough in a straight line, is it? And it is, and Acid Masters is just not putting a wheel wrong at all. He's trying a superb race out there. Also set another pass on the race, and he's really stepping up his charge set with just 22 laps to go in this one. Oh my word. And yeah, so Immortal currently is about 5-9 seconds. It's about 10 seconds away from this battle now, ish. Of course, give or take a few seconds on say, which you can't really do in Formula 1, can you? But it's just meant to be a very accurate sport, but there's nothing accurate about me whatsoever. But Immortal is now only 10 seconds away from this battle, then, so he's been really lighting up the time sheets, hasn't he? Whilst these drivers have been fighting tooth and nail, and of course he's not too far away from the battle in Aston Martins and the Red Bulls. Well, can Immortal, who has been pretty much untouchable in this 100% league, can he get another win under his on his belt then this season? He's been pretty mega. He's been pretty mega to say the least, then, and that is an understatement there for Immortal's performances this season. He's now all over the back of Ewok there. Murphy once again just not quick enough down the back straight. But now report then as Ewok there ain't going to be able to defend too much. Ewok's had a pretty much a very lonely race in that Mercedes, hasn't he? He's down in 10th position now. Ewok is. He's had 22 laps on those hard tyres, the same as the front runners. But Ewok is 11 seconds in front of Chewy and about 6 seconds behind Siege. Siege has now got the gap down to 4 seconds between that squabbling Quartet then for the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Siege could enter the fray as well later on then, so goodness gracious me, we could have another queue as well. And look at this, Murphy then getting very handsy on the back of that Mercedes driver. He is on the outside here. That's a great manoeuvre if he can then, but once again he's struggling. The McLaren is off reflection, has spun the car. Murphy's at the inside, it's not enough there, and now Siege is through, and more reflections down into 9th for the 8th position as he ran out of tyres on those mediums. I don't think he has he? But let's take a look. No, he's under 22 laps on those tyres as well. Murphy really pushing the envelope again there. Well, Percy is alongside the Aston Martin. He's at the inside. He's through. He passes KD and takes 2nd position. And now he is. Now he's got the leader in his sights. And Percy has done it the hard way, hasn't he? In the Red Bull tonight, but magnificent driving indeed. The Immortal setting the fast out of the race, hasn't he? In this one once again. Look at this, and now the Quartet has gone down to 3 with reflections. Unfortunately, having an unceremonious exit from this battle. I think he's still going to be back in this battle though, because Siege has been gaining in the last 3 laps. He's taking a second out of these drivers here because they're so busy focusing on each other. Well, I don't think they're focusing on each other. They have to focus on each other because what else can they do? I think Murphy has identified that Acid Masters is really strung around this part of the circuit. Yellow flag is on. The second McLaren is off, and the McLaren, who's having a much stronger second half of the race than the first half, is starting to unwind again, unfortunately, for the team from Woking. What a shame there for the McLaren Mercedes team, because they were finally put in some good laps in after a difficult start to this race, but all of a sudden it was starting to really come good again, but they've spun off and lost the position to Siege on the hard tyres around Siege there, and I'm wondering now with Murphy not looking back ever so much, he's now got a 5-second gap between himself and Siege. Can he get past the Acid Masters? He hasn't been able to on this lap. Also setting our fastest lap of the race. He is absolutely lighting up this track now, isn't he? Lucas Percy's got a 3 tenths of a second behind Gamer, and I think he is going to be shaping up then for an attempt down into turn 1 there. Well, maybe even before turn 1. He's all over the gearbox. The Aston Martin Gamer has led this race for 99% of the race so far, but as we come into the twilight of this race, this is a very important part of this race, and I think that Aston Martin may be having a sinking feeling now. They have really had firm control of this one, but Percy has been absolutely electric since that safety car. He is flying now, and he's having a look on the inside, but no dice yet. There's a Ferrari in front of us. I think that's Kaz, who is going. Oh no! And Percy knocking the Aston Martin off of Gamer, and goodness gracious me, that is not the way that he would like to overtake, I don't think. However, he will have a chance down into turn 1 here. We're on board now with Percy, and goodness me, the car, and I think he's weaving to get some tire temperature to those tires. I'm wondering then if or is he just trying to hold back ever so slightly? I'm not too sure. As Aston Masters is pulled well away from Murphy here. Murphy's had an appalling lap there. Is he made a mistake then, or is there Harbison going on for the Alfa Romeo driver? And just seeing what he can do then, because he has dropped 2 seconds away from Aston Masters now. Murphy has. And what if there's some mistake on that lap? Percy all over the back now of Gaiman, and there's Percy and two. Of course, they're both on similar tyre life here, but Percy wants his job done. Mortals 2 seconds back from the McLaren drivers, and then he's a further 2 seconds back from Murphy, who's a further 2 seconds back from Aston Masters, who's 5 seconds back from this battling trio for the lead of the Grand Prix. That's the Aston Martin got DRS. He has got DRS on the Ferrari, but Percy's all over the back of the gearbox of the race here. He's on the outside. He has track position. No, he doesn't there, because Gamer are forcing him out wide there. But Percy will, goodness me, they came to blows on this part of the circuit last lap, almost. But now Percy, who is in front of the ready to go then, and they've both got similar urges. But look at Percy, he is flying, isn't he? He's got it, he's out of turn there. He will have DRS now then, and yes, he has DRS then, but goodness me there, as the Aston Martin has gone defensive, so Gamer's got to go on the outside here. He's on the outside, Gamer's on the inside. Is he going to force him wide? He doesn't force him wide, he gives him just about a Red Bull's whip there, and now Percy is taking the lead into turn 3. He is on the inside, forcing the Aston Martin wide. Percy leads the Dutch Grand Prix. One incredible series of corners, one incredible series of laps there for Percy. Magnificent, absolutely incredible stuff indeed there. Can the Aston Martin strike back here with Gamer with the shoes on the other foot now? Can Gamer get himself back in front of the Red Bull? But look at how much deployment that he's run out now, and there is the telemetry just by the crash helmet of Vex Gamer. But look, Percy is already 7 tenths of a second away. He's absolutely flying away in this race. He's been absolutely mega, hasn't he? Goodness me. Percy has really thrown the gauntlet down in this one. Magnificent stuff indeed there for Percy, and this is boding very well potentially, and that's a McLaren off again, and it's Kai Dalvin who's off the circuit again. McLaren, who was as I mentioned, was doing a very good run of laps, and spun the car, and Kai Dalvin down in 9th position. And look, Ewok, who was having a very lonely race, all of a sudden now it's got some company then with the McLaren just in front of it. Into the pits comes Murphy. So Murphy then is in the pits. Has he damaged the car? And also the pits reflects as well then. Now, I wonder if they're going for a short, sharp stint on the soft tyres to the end of the race set. And the wrong box. There we go, Mr. Director. Now it's some soft tyres there for the Alfa Romeo. He's now coming out of the pit set. So yes, the medium runners said were coming into the pit set. And now at Motorsport is up into 6th position. Percy is still in DRS range of the McLaren, the Aston Martin team. Murphy out of the pits set. Reflections also on the pits as well on medium tyres. Oh my goodness gracious me then. So what an incredible race it's been in. So what can Aston Masters do then? Chewy's done 31 laps on the medium tyres. That's the most anyone's done on the medium tyre, most stint anyone's done on these medium tyres in this Grand Prix, in this race. He is keeping Bannister back at the moment. However, Bannister is all over the back of him, and I think that we need to turn our attention to this battle here. We are indeed. Percy is now out of DRS zone of Gamer, and KD is at DRS zone. Then Aston Masters now 6 seconds back from the two Aston Martins. Siege is a further 3 seconds back, and Mortal is in 6th position as well, but Percy is absolutely wringing the neck of that Red Bull now. Incredible couple of laps, and that was absolutely sensational. Here's Bannister, and this is not the battle for points yet, but anything can happen still, and this is where it gets very difficult. The final couple of laps, and concentration is going to be low, and some drivers then might start to be struggling. Then we're keeping that concentration. They might be getting tired as well in this race. Murphy then, who is showing that concentration is no issue from his point of view, as he is on the soft tires. I'm going to start to put in a good couple of laps, and let's see how he goes on in that Alfa Romeo then. And let's see where he can go from here on. Then we're just just over 10 laps to go in this race. KD then is now behind his teammate, as Gamer now down in a 2nd position, and with KD in 3rd. Then KD does have a 5-second penalty for that, ignoring yellow flags after the safety car. We're not sure if it's because he overtook Scarus Russia before the start-finish line, or if that was something else. We're not sure about that yet, but so that remains to be seen. So that 5-second penalty at the moment, and Bannister done all the hard work, and unfortunately that's come undone on the next lap. He's so lucky he did get beached there, but Bannister, oh goodness me, he got past Chewy. That was a great manoeuvre for himself as well, but all that hard work has come undone now, and he is now unfortunately 9 seconds away. And Mortal set a pass on the race as he has thrown the gauntlet down to Purse. Well, so Mortal and Purse are on their own private battle for fastest lap here at the moment. My word there. My word, incredible stuff. Purse is now almost at 1.7 seconds. Murphy's joining the fun as well, and also set a pass up on the soft compound tyres. And he is now within a 2nd of Ewok. There he is. There is Murphy. Here he comes, and in DRS already of Ewok. Kind of 2 seconds on the road. Then a further couple of laps on the road. A further couple of seconds on the road is a Mortal. I say a couple. He's 9 seconds on the road as into the pits. And I hope for some reason I'm still out of the pit lane. I'm not sure why, because the both their cars are out of the race. Into the pits comes Dewey, and he's now going on to the soft tires as well. Then and same for the 2nd Alfa Romeo. Bannister also in the pits as well, also going on to soft tires. I can see he is in the pits. There he goes then, and yeah, change on the soft tires. So those two drivers are going to be fairly quick then towards the end of this one. And Murphy then we rejoin the track action, and Murphy is up into 8th position now. He walked down into 9th, and now next target is of course Kaido, who's just slightly off road. There's the 29 laps on those hard tires. The hard tires, we was talking about where the medium tires get to the end. The hard tires should get to the end, but KD is now looking a bit more patient than his teammate at this stage. Mortal is in DRS range now. Siege had a great race there for Mortal. Ewok, I think that is shown Ewok. He probably might need to come in and have a sprint finish on the soft tyres. Is any of the drivers up front from the top 5 going to need to go to the pits and probably change on to maybe the soft tyres at the end of this race as well? Of course, Aston Martin has done 29 laps on the medium tyres. Now he's coming into unknown territory now. He might be able to limit those medium tyres to the end, but it's going to be very much a squeaky bum time now for the Mercedes driver. Can he hang on? Can he hang on there and keep those medium tyres alive to the end of this race then? That is going to be a question. I think Siege and Immortal are now hunting them down quite quickly at this stage. Immortal though is going to be causing all kinds of problems though for Siege, I think, because Immortal is just claiming time over Siege, hand over fist here at this stage, aren't they? And let's take a look. There they are. And Immortal will also be in DRS range as well. 12 to go in this one. Out of the final turn, and Immortal's all over the gearbox. The Siege, and he's alongside. He passes Siege, moves up into 5th position, and also got the fastest final sector of the race as well. Just to underline that Immortal's performance is still there as well. 2.2 seconds in front of us is Aston Martin's on very old worn medium tyres there. Vintage, who was the other driver on the first lap of medium tyres, has abandoned that and comes to the pits of soft tyres. Let's see what Aston Martin can do. Haas car is off the circuit, and it is Chewy. It is Chewy that he's gone off the circuit, unfortunately, and that's unfortunate. Just watching a person who's going quicker again on this lap. Lovely shot here as we're looking down the two Aston Martins there. 3.3 seconds back there, still pulling away from the Mercedes driver, but behind the Mercedes driver, they can probably see him now on their on their results page on the left on their screen display that Immortal is now up into 5th position, so that is going to definitely catch their attention. There is Bannister is now at the far side of the race. Good time there for Bannister as Bannister and Chewy are battling each other, I should say. Then Bannister's now into 11th position there. Whilst I was talking about that, then KD has just moved himself up into 2nd position there. There's a bit of I think there's a bit of team play there. So can KD, who has been quicker than, I think that is great gamesmanship there from the Aston Martin drivers. I don't think KD's got the pace over Person there, but this could be he's going to try and pull away as quickly as possible because they know that Immortal is in the facility now. There he is, and Immortal's got 11 laps to close down that gap then and get past at least one of the Aston Martins. Doesn't even need to overtake one Aston Martin physically because he's got a 5-second penalty. Vintage is back into the pits again. Something's gone wrong for that Williams car, unfortunately for Vintage, but he's going to be back out on the soft tyres again, I believe. Serious Mushroom coming into the pits as well, down in 50 position. Hats off to Serious Mushroom for sticking up this one. It's probably been quite a difficult race, to say the least, for Serious Mushroom today, as unfortunately he was unable to lap himself out, which is a shame, I think, because you should be able to lap himself, in my opinion. Almost all over the back of us. So he can also see Tiders to himself, Gamer, and KD. So he now knows what he needs to do. Then Immortal does. He is in the DRS range. Acid Masters, I don't think he's going to be able to defend this one too. He's not going to be able to defend this one too hard. I don't think he can, unfortunately, because those medium tyres are very much in unknown territory for these drivers now. Acid Masters got 10 laps to get this Mercedes home. Well, I think he's going to be targeting probably 6th position at this stage, because Siege is now going to be quicker as well. Siege, of course, is on the harder tyre, should not be feeling any pain at this situation there. Now I've got a unknown error there. Good stuff indeed. Accept that. Good stuff. And it's never going to go anywhere. And then we'll get back onto the race, shall we? Goodness me, I think Wednesdays is cursed, isn't it, really? We've had dodgy streams tonight, and now we've also been kicked out of the session as well, and we're shocking stuff indeed. But anyway, as oh gosh, I've now got to log into my account, have I? Well, that's going to be difficult, because I have no idea what that account is. But luckily, it's signed me in, I think, fingers crossed. Yes, it might have done. It's taken its sweet old time to connect. Hopefully, great stuff. Great. Hopefully, I can get back into the session now. Yes, there we are. I always get a bit nervous about this, and hopefully I can get back into this race and see the final 10 laps in this Grand Prix, which is thank you very much, Brooksy. Then I'm glad that someone wants me back in. So good stuff indeed there. I'm going to give you a virtual high five, Brooksy. Thank you, my good man. Right then, as I'm now coming back in the session, then of course Percy. To be honest, it would have been a good opportunity though to have just a quick review of what the race so far is, but it's been magnificent, hasn't it? Yes, I have expected it. Brooks is also retired as well, unfortunately, but he did retire quite a long time ago. But he's still in this race at the moment and doing a magnificent. I think he might be also going through, might be being a kind of like an engineer for a person, but Percy probably doesn't need engineering now, does he? He's been magnificent. So Immortal knows the score now. He needs to get within 5 seconds of KD to get himself onto the podium. He is 8.6 seconds away from Gamer as well. He knows that the Aston Martins are probably struggling quite heavily. Murphy is now onto the back of Kaida as well. And then he's got a 9-second deficit between himself and Acid Masters. And Acid Masters is struggling at this stage. He is limping home at the moment, Acid Masters, on those 3 lap tyres there. Lap 34 out of 72 in this one. Out of the final turn there for Siege, and DRS right on the money. Here he comes then. And look at this then, and Acid Masters then cannot defend. It's almost too easy, isn't it, there for Siege, because of Acid Masters' tyre life. But is it? There's Acid Masters there trying to hang in there, but unfortunately he couldn't do that. And here comes Murphy, and Murphy is unable to get past Kaidal here. That is crucial for the battle for 6th position potentially, because I think that Murphy would have liked to have got past Kaidal and started to reel in Acid Masters, because the gap is 8 seconds at the moment with about 8 laps to go. Murphy though is going to have a go here. Goodness me, Murphy is having a go then, and he is through. Is he? He is through. Oh, magnificent stuff indeed there. Brave stuff from Murphy. He knows that there's another position on offer, and he had to take that, didn't he? And he certainly took it well. So we've got a group of soft runners trying to have a sprint finish this race. He walks another drive there, 11 seconds away from Reflection. He's only done 8 laps on the medium tyres, so that's going to be a bit more difficult than what Murphy was trying to do to reel in Reflection's teammate Kai Dow. Bannister just outside the points in 11th position, and Chewy is also in 12th position on soft tyres. Kaz is staying on the hard tyres in 3rd position. Vintage a half a minute back in 14th position there. Then we got the top 5 all on the hard tyre. Siege, who is not actually dropped Aston Master at all, has he? Because Aston Master is still in the DRS range at the moment, which is quite surprising. That's a very good top. That's a very good lap there for Aston Master. Fantastic stuff indeed there. KD out of his sight, then I shorted he there through down the back straight not too long ago, didn't he? Of course, so I feel that KD might pull away of his sight because he was the fastest on the 2 Aston Martins at the time, wasn't he? But he hasn't pulled away as much as I thought he would. Percy, I think, who has been absolutely terrorising in the second half of this race, magnificent stuff there for Percy, really well done indeed. He has been in pretty emphatic form, hasn't he, Percy? That's magnificent stuff indeed. And of course, there are the position changes. Then Murphy 10 positions, Kai Dallin Reflections up 11 position. Now Percy up 7 positions as well. He is a reserve driver, isn't he? Percy is. But I'm wondering if I should put him in for driver of the day. But I am going to put him in for driver of the day, but as I'm a bad, as of course, maybe what should I? I think still on board there. I must admit that it's so interesting going on board these drivers, isn't it? There's so many different driving techniques in for each driver as well. Some are so aggressive at the steering wheel, then there's others quite delicate and smooth with the steering wheel. Very good stuff indeed. Right, and I think that this has been a very incredible day indeed, hasn't it? And it's 100% league. We've had so many twists and turns in this race. If this was a 50% normal league race, this race would have been absolutely different. It would be so different to what it is now, then, wouldn't it? Because the second half of the race takes a completely different turn, doesn't it? And also then, can he get himself up into 3rd position then, and on the podium? The gap at the moment is still. Well, Gamer's now out of DRS range as KD has had to put a bit of a spurt on now on lap 67 out of 72 here with just 5 to go in this one. Just 5 to go. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed. This one has been, hasn't it? There is, goodness me. And there it is. And there is your driver of the day vote. It's just popped up. I was trying to work out how to post the yellow flag. And who is that for? Is that KD, who's dropped down the order? KD is down the order then. And that's what the yellow flag was for. So KD is off the circuit. And whilst I was trying to sort myself out, KD has dropped down into 4th position now. And he was putting a bit of a spurt on, but he's come off the circuit. He is now behind the ball. This is a nightmare from KD. With that penalty was going to be difficult anyway, but yes, KD has had issues there, and unfortunately has dropped down the order. What a shame there for KD. And of course he's got no errors either. Up into 3rd position goes on Mortal. Can Mortal get that 6 seconds down there and a catch and pass a Gamer then for the Grand Prix win here? That is going to get very interesting indeed in this one, isn't it? We've we've got 5 laps to go in this one, and I think that this could be the most interesting battle on circuit. So 60 out of 72. Percy, what an incredible race this has been there for Lucas Percy. There, it's gone from misery to ecstasy, hasn't it? In these 68 laps or so. Gamer, who has gone from ecstasy to misery in these 68 laps, so he's led about 90% in this race there. And then Percy took on an absolute new dimension in this race, was absolutely flying, wasn't he? Mortal in first position there, made a mistake there. Safety car helped Percy and Immortal very, very well indeed then. However, they got themselves into that position there by not giving up. Immortal in third position now, and he is now in third position there. Can he get any more pace out of the yellow flag down the back, showing us Alfa Romeo just getting on the way. Has he got any more pace in that Alfa Romeo? In fourth position is KD. KD, of course, had a spin earlier on, then dropped it down the order. Then his formation flying for the Aston Martins just after the safety car, and then unfortunately, I think he's had a spin and dropped himself down to fourth position. C10, same with him. He was very much out of this one, then the safety car came out and helped him back into this one. Was thrown on the soft tires and then has very much been Mr. Consistent. Acid Masters, who is very much tippy-toeing around now and just trying to get these medium tires in, and he's on 39 laps. There's a mammoth stint there on these medium compound tires for Acid Masters. He's now in unknown territory. Can he get himself to the end with Murphy flying through as well? He's also the driver of the day vote, winning the driver of the day vote as well. Murphy is there in 10th position. I've got Murphy as a reserve driver, shocking game. But he's in 7th position at the moment. Murphy is. Kydal and Reflections 8th and 9th position. It's been a bit of a difficult day for McLaren, who's second in the constructors. But Kydal and Reflections have had numerous spins on those two McLarens. But Reflections and Kydal kept themselves winning. Reflections now up in the 9th position. Remember, they both started on the back of the grid, so that is still a good recovery. I would hazard a guess then for both McLaren team. Ewok's had a very quiet race in a 10th position, hasn't he? Just on board with Chewy, and there's a Mercedes just flying past us now. I think that might have been Acid Master, and Chewy now passes and moves himself into 11th position now, and they're 41 seconds behind Ewok though, so I think that points may be just outside the reach then. Talking of Ewok then, he's had a very much a lovely race in 10th position. I see that he's been too quick for the drivers behind him, but he's unable to keep the pace of the drivers in front, but good 10th position there. Chewy and Bannister, my goodness me, Bannister was on a cracking race in the open stage there, was second and third for most of it there, having a great battle to the spin there, and that kind of unravelled his race, didn't it, unfortunately. Now he's had a race-long battle with KD's off the circle again, then it's unravelling majorly now for KD. What a shame then, with just a couple of laps to go, and there's some major problems, and Bannister has got past Chewy then, who are having an almighty scrap, haven't they? And my goodness me, I want to go back to this one, because look at that, they're wheel to wheel coming down the back straight. Both of them are on the same life and tyre here, and they're fighting for all parts of the track here. KD has lost out majorly, once again, and Immortal set the fast stuff for the race then, and that's incredible on 35 lap old hard tyres. That is ridiculous, magnificent stuff indeed there for the championship leader. Brilliant stuff indeed then coming out of the final turn. Once again, and just giving it on Siege and KD, who are just a bit further up the road from these two here at the moment, and second to last lap here in this Dutch Grand Prix, then going into turn 1 here, but no dice at the moment now. Cars and 30 laps on 30 position there with 27 laps on those hard tyres. Vintage in 40 position. And Chewy, Bannister almost spun the car there. Luckily they kept out of the wall, but I think that might be the end of his battle there with Bannister. Well, might be the end of his battle with Chewy, but you wouldn't put it past him. Murphy is I think he's going to run out of laps here, and Acid Master's done a great job on those medium compound tyres, hasn't he? Really good stuff indeed. 50% for Percy, 50% for Murphy in terms of drivers. They've been superb, haven't they, in this one? All 15 drivers have been superb. Actually, get themselves in this one. It's been a brutal one indeed. As Bannister off the circuit and spinning the car, unfortunately, there as for Bannister then, and doing some donuts, but I think he's done them a lap too early. Final lap then for Percy. What an incredible race it's been for Percy, but he's lost a lot of time then, Percy has there. I'm wondering if he's pushed these hard tyres a bit too hard then, and now they've really become out of sync here, because look, he is starting to struggle. The Bannister's got a 3-second penalty. Lack of penalties in this race has been pretty impressive stuff indeed there. And apart from KD's penalty might lose him, might drop him down to 7th here, and that is going to be heartbreaking indeed. Murphy's now got 60% of the vote then. Look at this, as we've now got we have now got Percy, who is now in the DRS range of Gamer then, but I think it might be a lot too late there for Percy. I'm sorry for Gamer, but what an incredible drive for both BC drivers. Been magnificent. Gamer's led a lot of this race there, but in the end, unfortunately, as a balance around the race was just a lap to go. But it's going to be Percy who is drove an absolutely supreme race out of the final turn, and he's going to win the 100% event here in Holland. He wins the Dutch Grand Prix by 4/10 of a second from Gamer, who is second, and of course he was leading for majority of the way then. But Percy's incredible stint on those hard tyres, that incredible pace, was absolutely electric stuff indeed there for Percy. Really well done indeed, KD. Of course, that 5-second penalty there, of course, for the safety car restart, unfortunately. But what an incredible stint that was for Percy. Gamer in second today. We'll see his reaction after the race then. Magnificent stuff indeed there. KD just finished half a second in front of Murphy, who finished 7th in the end there. Aston Masters, what an incredible drive on those 43 old medium compound tyres. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed. Very good stuff there. Hats off to Serious Mushroom there, who of course after being lapped there, which I think is a load of rubbish to be honest, if he wasn't allowed to lap himself. I don't know, of course, it's happened, it's always been like that on this game, where he can't lap himself, but as soon as you go lap down in these league races, it's so difficult to get yourself back into this and then lap yourself, so that is such a shame then. Oh, but Brooksy, the reason why Percy dropped back is because he had no fuel on the final 2 laps. Thank goodness me, and that would have added some drama to the end of that one, wouldn't it? Goodness gracious me, Kyle gets the driver today. Whilst the vote is out for Percy driver today. He's got 57% of the vote, with Murphy on 43% of the vote so far. Keep your votes coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Now, but I have kind of thrown caution to the wind on that one, because we've put 2 reserve drivers up there, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I thought both reserves did absolutely supreme today. All the reserves and all the drivers out there did absolutely supreme stuff. But I think we'll right down. Goodness gracious me. I'm going to have a snooze, I think. But there he is, Percy. I must say that I know this is 100% league, but I'm looking forward to gold on the weekend. I think that is a major statement of intent there for Percy and for Gamer as well, and KD, who have been pretty impressive, haven't they, in this one tonight? Wow, incredible stuff indeed. But let's take a final look at the classification, shall we, from the Grand Prix here in Holland, the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. And it was Percy who won the Dutch Grand Prix, with Gamer in second position now by 0.3 of a second, as Percy ran out of fuel towards the end then. Third position was Immortal with, on the fast lap, Siege in 4th position. 5th position was Aston Martin, incredible drive on those medium tyres. KD in 6th, 7th position is Murphy, with Kaidal in 8th, for Reflex in 9th, and Ewok in 10th position there. Chewy just outside the points in 11th position. Kaz is in 12th. 13th position is Serious Mushroom. Vintage in 14th. Retirements was Bannister, Brooksy, Jinner, Fessier, Liam, and Scooby Stew, all retired from the Dutch Grand Prix. And goodness me, Percy, what an incredible race that was there. It was looking bleak before that safety car came out, but that middle stint of the race, I want to talk about that, because that was absolutely supreme stuff. That was Michael Schumacher-esque speed in that middle stint. Talk us about that.
Yeah, it was a fun race. First of all, I thoroughly enjoyed it. First stint, I was just biding my time. I didn't want to get into any incidents. I know sometimes you can get caught up in an incident or two around this track. And then, yeah, second stint, I just thought I'm going to have to go for it. I can't stay behind. I think I was, P11 when the safety car came in. So I just thought I'm going to have to go for it, try and get through with the slower drivers. And, yeah, made my way up pretty quickly.
My goodness me, and you was just catching drivers hand over fist as well. That was absolutely magical stuff. But yeah, you did say about the first stint there, where it just went a bit Pete Tong. I think that didn't the safety car came out just after you spun and damaged your wing. So that was a stroke of luck, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like I said, in gold at Belgium, sometimes I need a bit of luck because my luck hasn't been too great. But yeah, I mean, the last 2 laps I ran out of fuel, so I don't know how game has taken me, but I was in low fuel for the final 2 laps.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Because I thought that you made a mistake, or if the tires just dropped off the cliff bed, so very lucky towards the end then. Was that because you overdriven the car then in those incredible laps, do you think?
No, it was just myself before the race started. I just I put minus two laps of fuel in the car, thinking it's a long enough race for there to be more than one safety car. But yeah, the one safety car, I don't know how there was only one safety car, but yeah, I just couldn't gain any fuel for the race, and I just said to James in the part, I'm gonna finish out the points here 'cause I'm gonna just run out of fuel. But luckily, I stayed ahead of the game. I think he probably let me have the win because he probably could have overtaken me, but we'll have to find out what he says.
Absolutely fantastic. Well done today, Percy. Absolutely magical drive to take the Grand Prix win. And Gamer, my goodness me, commiserations, because for 90% of that race, you looked in firm control. You had a 15-second lead in that opening stint. That was absolutely incredible. You took off like a scolded cat in the opening couple of laps. Talk us about that first stint before the safety car.
Yeah, my first stint was really good. A few crashes behind me with Lucas and Immortal, both of them. So that was really good for me. I had a big gap because of that, and at one point I wasn't even pushing. I was just trying to save some fuel because I was gonna come short on it. But then there was a safety car, and yeah, absolutely gutted with that because I feel like if safety car wasn't there, I would have won it because the gap was that big.
How frustrating is that? Because yes, you because you did have that 15-second lead, and that would have been very difficult to overturn in this race. Then, how frustrating was that? Especially when especially with all your rivals behind you. How difficult was it to stay focused?
Yeah, of course, it's never ideal because you really have to reset yourself. Even with me, who I wasn't even pushing the last 20 laps, I think, before the safety car. So I had to do a completely different racing style after the safety car, pushing like crazy, and with people like Lucas and Immortal behind you. That's really difficult. Also, I think Immortal made a mistake or something, which I can be happy with that because he still came really close. They're just on another level than me, and I still even came close because Lucas was out of fuel. And yeah, I would have won it if I didn't made a mistake in sector 2 because I look back at the timing screen and I lost 4 tenths because I went a bit wide. So and I finished 3 tenths behind. So that's really annoying, but we have to continue. And it was a good practice as well for Sunday and gold. So really happy with that.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing how you both do in gold as well. But on the positives, you've had in Hungary as well. You had a very good race as well before, especially the opening stint. You're so close to that win. Then, do you think you're going to get? Do you think you can get a win before the end of the season?
Yeah, I really believe I can get a win. There are some circuits upcoming that I really like, so think I will be able to do that. Even today in quali, both me and KD showed that we were pretty close to immortal. So we have the pace to do it, both of us, and I believe even both me and KD will get a win before the end of the season.
And I hope so as well, because that was a great drive today. Great drive from both of you guys today. Percy, absolutely magical that second stint, and also an incredible opening stint from Gamer as well. Goodness gracious me, a 15-second lead. My golly gosh. That is going to be it then for here tonight in the 100% League. Of course, we are back in action, as Gamer said then, for the gold race. And on Sunday, we are staying in Holland. Oh, I cannot wait for that one. Remember that Percy, Troye, and Boxtel are all going head-to-head for the championship. And of course, Gamer, who's been looking pretty phenomenal here in Zandvoort, and Katie as well. Can both those drivers score some major points? We'll see you then. Goodbye.